I'm Mel Stewart, and this is the SwimSwam podcast. Joining me today is a man with a 100% batting average at the Olympic plate. Every time he's fallen on the water, he's won gold. Are you jealous? You should be. Today we're talking to Dressel, Caeleb Dressel, farmer, Olympic superstar, media expert, and host of Dressel Dissects, which I'm hoping will come back at some point. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really, really good. That was a pretty good intro. I like that one. That was probably the best one you've had yet.
They're always a little rough. We haven't talked in forever. I haven't talked to you since 2022 at U.S. Nationals. Coach Nesty was a peer. We raced each other. We raced in high school and college. He's as plain spoken as he's the same guy. I thought he represented you well because he talked about what was going on with you. And he's like, I pulled two things from it. He said, 2022 mental break and where Caeleb's at right now. He is a happy swimmer. And I like training. Happy swimmers. Those are great swimmers to train. Accurate statement?
Oh, very accurate. Yeah. I've always loved training. I shouldn't say always. I have fallen in love with training. I don't think there's anything better than training. I like training more than competing, to be quite honest. And of course, I'll have those bad practices every here or there where you don't want to be there, but those are the ones that are a lot of fun because when you do finish that practice, you take something away from it. So yeah, I love training. I love getting my heart rate up. But yeah, I think Nesty represented everyone in my circle when I was just not on deck for 8-9 months. Everyone represented me really well. Any quote that I saw from whether it be Nesty or Erica, anybody, I couldn't have said it better myself. So yeah, I think on Nesty's behalf, he said that very well.
He did. I thought Ledecky represented you well. We put up an interview with Ledecky and it was like she's talking about you, and I thought it was really interesting. She's like, he's not there in training right now. It's like he's not here, right? He's not the Dressel that we've seen in the past, but he brings so much more to the pool. Did you see the interview?
I haven't. I have not. No.
She advocated for you. I was like, man, this is like a big sister stepping up, and I thought she spoke well. I thought it was interesting, and she was it's like just in training and what he brings to the team, what he brings as a mentor. It was nice. You should watch it at some point.
Yeah, also if you honestly just text it to me, that'd be great. I would love to see that, but no, I haven't really seen too much lately.
What did you do? You took time off. What'd you do to get happy? Where is your happy place?
Oh, I wish it was that easy. So I needed every bit of the 8 months I was out of the water. And I don't even want to call it 8 months because it was not like it was like, boom, 8 months right back into full training. I mean, Nesty held me back, quite some time, which was how it needed to be. I'm not good at pacing things. Like, especially when I get sick or coming back from a break, I just like to go absolutely claws in, pedal to the metal. I don't know how to pace things. I know at least I'm aware of that. So coming back in, Nesty kept me to 1 hour in the water, 3 days a week I think we were at that for 5 or 6 weeks. And I'll tell you what, it was still tough. It was still really, really tough, especially when I would get in the pool long course. So yeah, I got people on my team who are here to help me, and I know that. But yeah, right when I got back from Budapest, got right into counseling. Nicole, my counselor, I've been with her. We were running 2 sessions a week, so I was probably in there 5 hours a week. And I actually had a shirt made because that's all I was doing there this time. It was motorcycles, hiking, and counseling. That's all I was doing. And every now and then I'd go for a run and get my heart rate up. But it wasn't around like, I got to stay in shape. Swimming was not anywhere near being in the picture. I didn't know where I was at with swimming. There was a lot more things at stake than a swim career. I'll put it that way. So yeah, it was just enjoying myself without the sport. And the sport is something that I love swimming so much. And I want to be able to say that until I die. I was going to say until I retire, but honestly, I just want to swim forever. You don't have to deal with gravity. You can do it till you're old, stay in shape. And, I think it's a good way to hold myself accountable to where if I'm in a Speedo, I got to make sure I look good. So I want to try to take that as far as I can when I'm getting older. but yeah, honestly, it was pretty much just getting in counseling and doing things different for myself and not just my swim career, which is definitely a change of pace. But I couldn't go near a pool. I would purposely take a long way around campus just to avoid the pool. I was scared to death to see anybody on campus. And I slowly evolved. The more I was in there with Nicole, the more I was just sitting on my front porch, the more I was just enjoying myself without the sport of swimming, which is tough because I've had this since age 5. And I did other sports, but everything, like, it brings me so much joy. So to have something that does bring you so much joy, and it did get away from me to where it wasn't anymore. It was tough not having that, trying to figure out, like, what the heck do I do now? So the 3 things were, I would go camping out in the woods a few times by myself, which is great. I just think a lot of people just need to go touch grass, and I think a lot of problems will go away. Yeah, I have a motorcycle, so I would hop on that and just go for rides. And where we live, it's not like, no, I'm not even trying to defend myself. Yes, I know it's dangerous, but it's really fun and I enjoy doing it. And I go on back roads. I'm not being stupid. Well, sometimes I am dumb, but it's fun. It's really, really fun. And then, yeah, counseling. So that was kind of my trifecta. And then, of course, my inner circle, leaning on them heavy, Nesty staying in touch with me. No one was, wondering where I was at with swimming, because I didn't know. I didn't know for months and months and months. So yeah, I don't think it's as easy as how did I get happy. It was more so just trying to figure out what went wrong along the way. And I don't like to use that word, but I needed to do things differently. I was truly, truly obsessed with the sport, and I got results. I got really good results. I just didn't have that balance. And I lost that age group mentality of just getting in the water because it's fun, not because I have to one up myself from 2017 Worlds and then 2019 Worlds, but just swimming because it's fun and not caring about placement, which is a crazy thing to say, but I'd rather swim for a time than placement, to be honest. I know this is a super controversial statement, but if I had the choice between a gold medal or a best time, no matter the placement, I think I would go for the best time. Yeah.
That makes sense. Did you experience this moment in high school? Did you have this moment? Was that
very similar, which was really terrifying. I am not, it kind of sucks to say because I am in the spotlight, but I am not built to, and a lot of people wouldn't guess this because you see interviews, and I don't want to toot the old horn here, but you see how well spoken I am, and I'll do the interviews and everything's fine and dandy and I'm smiling on deck, but there's a lot, and this is not just me. This is tons of athletes, and especially with social media. And I don't want to sound like I'm complaining at all or anything of that matter, but I am not designed to deal with media and the attention, because I don't like saying no to people. And eventually it gets to the point where, in high school, everyone loves you. You're the new breakout star. And then you start just getting, people just get mean and they're not living up to your expectations. And again, I'm not complaining. It's a free country. People can say whatever they want. I'm sure through my break, people were saying a whole lot of stuff. I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, it does get tough because I try to act like it doesn't bug me, but it does. It really, really does. And I've gotten to a point now where I can honestly say I don't care. But when you're carrying the weight of not only what your goals are, but also the expectations of, I've got Phelps comparisons and, well, can he maintain, world champ 17 into 19 into the Olympics, and then you add the COVID year on top of that. It's hard. Yeah, that's the easiest way I can put it without me just sounding like a titty baby over here. It was tough. It was really, really tough. And on top of that, not being a natural feeling for me being an introvert, I don't like to be around people I don't know. I don't like the stardom. I just want to swim fast, dude. That's what's fun for me. I love getting in the water. I love training. And a lot of people say, that's just what comes with the sport. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I should be in the driver's seat with that of what am I going to, what do I want to do? How many autographs am I going to sign? And there's nothing better than when you do sign that one autograph for that kid and watching their lights light up. Like, I get that. But I do need that balance and to be able to say no to people, because I want to swim as long as I can, dude. I'm enjoying the sport. I want I want to wring out every bit of talent I have in these genes. I want to figure out this sport, and I want to keep going for as long as I can. And who knows how long that is? There could be some young bucks fly by me next year. I don't know, but I know I still got a lot left in the tank. And maybe it's not me going best times or world records, but just figuring the sport out and what makes me happy with it, and just keep that momentum with it, instead of just panic every year in fear of I have to do better. It proves I'm not good in this sport. But it wasn't healthy walking away from Tokyo truly believing, and I don't feel this way now, but truly thinking I had a bad swim meet, which sounds crazy, which I know, and it's a little embarrassing saying this, but that was my first instinct. And you can't dare say that in an interview right when you land back in the United States. So there's a lot of things where I would just keep my mouth shut, and a lot of things where I keep it to myself, and it would just boil over and over. But I know it sounds ludicrous coming back from Tokyo, where 3 individual golds, 2 relays, and I'm like, that wasn't good enough. That's what got me into trouble. I would always look for what did I do wrong and how can I avoid that. Perfectionism, essentially. It's a double-edged sword that, just so happened to hurt me more than help me over time.
You're a times and goal-oriented person, and it's as simple as, I guess you want to meet those times, so you're holding yourself to a high standard. That's I don't know if you're aware of, you have a peer, Ray Carey, who was a perfectionist, and Ray Carey won the 100 back, 200 back, 4x100 medley relay in 1984, and he touched the wall, and he was unhappy with his times, even though he won.
Because he missed the world record. Is that what it was?
He missed it. He thought he could go faster.
Yeah.
And what happened in the aftermath of that was the media were tough on him. It was very tough on him. Yeah. So and I might get backlash for saying that. I don't know. I don't care, to be honest. I don't care. I want to be as transparent to a point as I can. Just honestly, it makes it easier when it's out there instead of keeping this stuff all inside. And there's some things that I'm not gonna dare share. But yeah, that was one of the very real feelings. Was I didn't do as well as I wanted. It was just, I was so caught up in times, and if I didn't go these times, it means I wasn't working hard enough, or I wouldn't dare think of, maybe it's because you're swimming finals in the morning, or maybe it's because you had the COVID year, or maybe it's tons of different reasons. But I was just so blinded of, no, if I don't go these times, I'm a failure of, I didn't live up to the potential that I feel like I was capable of doing. So I know I was my number one critic, and I always will be. I feel like it should be that way, but to a fault, definitely to a fault, to where I zapped the joy out of it. I just like showing up and training, and age groupers, man, they have it more figured out than they will ever believe. They're just going to practice because it's fun. They're just working hard because it's fun, and they're not thinking about anything besides, I want to beat the guy next to me. So it really is such a pure, simple sport, and that's why I fell in love with it. And I got my own way. Yeah. The context that you're sharing, what your experience was in this standard you were holding yourself to during the Olympic Games, within the swim nerd community, which is our audience, it makes sense. Also, you can unpack that after the fact in the context you're sharing, and it makes sense. And it's that's I don't know who would see that as a negative. I think it's I appreciate the insight. I do have a question for you. I want people out there listening to kind of have some context on just the physical and mental things that are going on. When you have a schedule, you had a hard run from 16, you were a kid. You're a live wire, just a raw nerve. But by 2017 to 22, your schedule's massive. Is it correct that you would, after you'd have this huge schedule and you'd be spent and you'd get back home, you'd get sick?
Without fail, every single time, my body would completely quit on me. It's almost as soon, I could usually survive the plane, that sounds so histrionic. I could usually make it home on the plane, but as soon as I get home, done. Throat's immediately sore. You're laying in bed, body aches. You ask so much of your body. And I mean, not just me, but in my case, yeah, I would have so much of my body and the mental fatigue to where it knew that the task at hand and it would hold together. And then as soon as you get home, I mean, without fail, every major meet probably since, I mean, it would even happen. And I remember the first time it happening was zones when I was 12 years old. Getting home and just, no, I'm just going to stay in bed. So whether it was a real sickness or I had some virus or bacteria in my body, probably not. My body was like, we're overriding the system here. We're going to just lay in bed for 3-5 days. Yeah.
It's a thing internally with SwimSwam editorial, because you're trying to reach out to people after world champs. And if it's a big star with a huge schedule, we get a lot of no's because they're sick. We spoke to Caeleb McEwen, and literally we did an interview with her. She unpacks her world championships. She stopped, people don't see this in the media, but she stopped twice to go blow her nose because she was talking to us. She's talking to me while she had a cold. And I feel horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, you douche. What are you doing?
But it's she's at a point in joy in her career that seems to be working for her, and a lot of things are going right. But it is something that is so just out of curiosity, I don't have the experience of doing a schedule like that. I have an experience of doing small schedules, and I saw athletes, I rubbed shoulders with athletes who did it, but it seems like, the feedback I got from them was that their nervous system would be up here. And they had moments where they couldn't get their nervous system down. They couldn't get it to normalize. Is that something that you've experienced?
I mean, for sure. Definitely 100% during the meet. I mean, you can relate to this. This is every swimmer on the planet where you're trying to lay down for a nap because you're tired, but you got owl eyes. You're just wide awake, and you're also exhausted at the same time. So of course during the meet, but I remember very specifically after Olympic trials, I went to get dinner with my family, and I really wanted margaritas. I want to go get, I can tear up some jalapeno margaritas. So we want to go get some jalapeno margaritas at this like taco place. And I remember walking there, and I was still in my shell. I with my family, the meet had just ended, but I couldn't override the system to get out of swimming mode, where I was still and I was aware of it as I was talking, but my answers were shorter. And it wasn't just because I was tired. It was my body was still completely zoned in. Even a couple hours after trials had been done for a long time, the media stuff was done, drug testing was done, but it is very hard to turn it off. You get so many of the adrenalines and I don't know, whatever chemicals pumping from the brain where you can't just shut them off. It's not like a light switch. I wish it was. That would be really, really great. But it also helps you. If that's the worst thing that happens is after swimming, I get sick and I'm still revved up and have a hard time, turn it off. I mean, sign me up. Well, I already am signed up to do it. But yeah, if that's the worst thing, I'll get sick. If I can compete at the Olympics for a week, sure.
Yeah, it sounds like you went into a shell. You took care of yourself. Just out of curiosity, you had your own bubble, but did you talk to anybody else among your peer group? Did you lean on anyone and say, hey, here's the deal?
Slowly. It took me a while to come out of there, because I did not, dude, on the plane ride back, I was like, what is going on right now? I was just as confused as everybody else. I had to leave that swim meet. I needed to go. I had to go home. I needed to get out of there. I was done. I was completely done. I wish I had a better reason not a better reason, but in that moment, I wish I just was like, oh, Caeleb broke his leg. Yes. That would have been an easier explanation. And here I am sitting on the swim meet, just numbed out. I had to go home. And then eventually over time, I called my best friends, Ben and Bailey, but I want to say it was probably when I was home, maybe 2 weeks. And I was scared to death of that phone call for no reason at all, because I didn't know how to explain it. I had no idea. But I remember I took first time I called Ben, I took a bike ride. There's some trails by our house. You can get lost real easy. It's beautiful. But yeah, I was out there psyching myself up to call my best friend. Just was obviously not in a good spot. But yeah, I was just confused and didn't have words when no one in my circle needed words. They just wanted to, you know, hey, Caeleb, that's it. That's all they ever wanted. But in my head, it was, how do I explain this? Because I didn't have an explanation. So it was tough. Over time, it got easier and easier. And then over time, seeing, I think Bobby was the first person I saw on campus. And just, you know, seeing swimmers and then being able to walk by the pool, being able to smell the chlorine. First time I got in the water to actually swim, Megan, for my birthday, she got us tickets to go swim with the manatees, which is, if y'all haven't done that or is watching this, it is the best thing ever. So yeah, the manatees were running and she took me to go see them. So I was, without realizing it, I was like, oh, I haven't been in water a good amount of time here. So, and that honestly, it was rough. That was actually a really rough time. I'm not gonna throw that off. Yeah, the next time I went in for counseling, we talked about that the whole time. It was a shock. Like, I wasn't competing, but just being in the water, like my body remembered it like that. Of like, whoa, Bob, what the heck do you think you're doing? And then I had my foot surgery, which I forgot about. Yeah, dude, there's a lot of things where it's surprising how much you can get done when you're not swimming. Yeah, I had similar surgery to what I had before. They just had to reattach some ligaments. I got my foot trapped under our tractor. Honestly, it's a gnarly story. The front loader came down because I was changing out the buckets, and the front loader came down and pinned my foot. And the tractor was still mowing. Oh yeah, dude. I was like, it was like from, what's that movie, 72 Hours or something. It wasn't that dramatic, but like, that's what I felt like. I was like, oh no. And it hurt so bad, dude. So yeah, and Maggie was inside. I couldn't yell because we're on some land. It was too far away and the tractor was running. So I had to like basically shimmy the front loader because I'm just so freaking strong, dude. So I got my foot out eventually, but like I had to just kind of like rip my toe out. And I think I undid the first surgery. So I had surgery again. And then shortly after that, I could like slowly get in the water. So I'd go up with my little sister Sheridan and my other best friend Bailey, and we would do, my counselor she said no more than 30 minutes. So just 30 minutes at the water. And it was just fun. I was just doing breath control. I couldn't kick anyways. But I had some you take baby steps and then even smaller than a baby step, to where it was just fun to be in the water. I didn't have a goal. The goal, I was out of shape as anything, dude. But yeah, just floating around. And then when me and Megan would go to the beach, just like, craving to do some of the strokes. Yeah, up until 3 days a week for an hour. And then as soon as I hit that hour, Nessie would say, get out. I'm like, okay, I'm already like so tired anyways right now. But yeah, just starting off with some of the smallest steps possible until the trials was not easy. That was not easy at all. Swimming in lane 8 and getting scratched into the 8 final, swimming in the C final. But you know what? I showed up there to swim and compete. I didn't show up there to only swim if I made an A final because of a pride thing. No, I showed up there to swim. And that's why I love the sport. It's the most fair sport ever. And those are the times I got, and those are the times I trained for. So be it. I thought freestyle would have been, I thought I could have dipped under, 49 in the freestyles. Honestly, I was happy with the fly, 50 fly for sure. But you know what? I was at a swim meet and it was fun. It was really fun. So yeah, it was, I don't want to use the word embarrassing. A little bit of it, a little piece of it for sure. Because, when they're announcing like, oh, world record holder, Caeleb Dressel, or like, I'm like, I'm there like lane 8, like, hey, what's good, everybody? Yeah. So parts of it were humbling that I didn't think I needed. Just the whole 8 months out of the water was a humbling experience. But that meet was so fun. It was really fun being on the other side, I guess you could call it. And feeling so safe on deck. I had so many people just coming up and I like truly felt the love from everybody. I felt safe on deck. I had more people come up and say, welcome back or good job at that meet than probably any other swim meet. I had more people text me then than I probably when I made the team in 2021. So yeah, definitely a really, really fun experience. I cried. I cried after prelims under free. That was definitely a shock. It was foreign. It was a very foreign experience. I don't want to sound arrogant or cocky, but I'm used to being out in front and used to being in those lanes, 4s and 5s. So yeah, when you flip it to 50 going out in your first, legit race back in a couple months and you're a body length behind, it's tough.
It's Nesty detailed your training, and he detailed, what were his words? His words were only 3 practices a week in May. He ramped you up to 8. And then he said, there's not a whole lot to taper from that. What did he described it as, he needs more muscle. He needs more muscle for pop. And he's going to have to do some work to finish his races. And it's sort of like swimming is just so, there's no lying in swimming. It's just, right. It's like, that's what it is. It's an equation.
It is a beautiful sport. You get exactly what you put in. And you know what? Sometimes even less, because your body just might be throwing a fit that day. You might be a little sick. You might slip off your wall. It's the most fair sport, and then kind of not really. Not on the good side. There's no accident, but that's why I love it. What you're putting in and day out is what you're going to get out of it. And knowing full well I was not even close to being at 100% at trials, but I wanted to go to a swim meet. I wanted to compete. I wanted to see where I was at and not let my pride get in the way, because I've been doing that. Not my pride get in the way. I don't want to word it that way, but you felt the pressure of the world every time I stepped up to the blocks. And the pressure for myself was even more of, I wanted to prove, even more of, okay, 2017 wasn't just a fluke, and then 19, this is leading into the Olympic year. Let me not bomb this. So it was really nice this year, starting a season, not out of fear, but just out of excitement of who knows what's going to happen. And I don't want to say it. I don't want people to think that, I don't care what happens. I don't want to work hard anymore. I have a very large chip on my shoulder. I don't want trials to happen again. And I don't think it will. I probably hit normal schedule, 8 practices. It's still not full schedule. I was still only lifting twice a week. So I had 2 months under my belt. So for 2 months, you know what? I think that's pretty kick-ass how I did. So I don't want that to happen again. I don't want to go 49.4. I don't want to go 51.6 or whatever I went. So yeah, as soon as I got back from trials, what am I going to do? Take a break? Dude, I was out of the water for so long. Like, I didn't want to take a break. I went in, talked to my strength coach, talked with Tracy. I'll go in and talk with Nesty. I wanted to let him have his downtime and, whatever. But yeah, I just got back in the weight room, got my weight back up, just getting strong. And then everyone's back on campus August 20th, 23rd, like that. And then, you know what? I was running singles after trials because I don't want November, December to roll around and I'm just gassed. But it's just so fun right now. I was out of the water for so long and just having parts of my sport back of just the enjoyment and being around people. That's all I want to swim forever, dude. Training is so much fun, being around teammates, being around the coaches. Like the deck is such a special place, and it always will be. And then when I can't swim anymore, you better believe I'm going to be coaching.
It was a question. It's like, yeah, when this is over, are you going to stay back? Are you going to stay in the sport?
1,000%. And if you asked me that 2 years ago, a year ago, I would have said no, probably not. But I think now I'm in such a special, I guess, time in my life where, yes, I'm training with the college guys. Yeah, I'm friends with them. Yeah, they've been over to my house. Yeah, we play baseball together, Mario Kart, everything. There's some of my really good friends on that team. And then I also have a locker in the coach's locker room, So it's like, oh, I don't really want to deal with your gross locker room. But I feel like I'm almost an in-water coach at this point to where I'm still learning from these guys. I'm still getting beat in practice. So I still have that team element. And then also there's things that I'm finding out now about the sport or about myself, such as book club, where I just want to share with them, where I almost have enough of a separation to where I feel like I can go to them and I can help them to where, yeah, and in-water coach, that in-between coach. And then I can bring things to the coach to where, hey, we need to do this different. This is what I'm noticing. This is what they're talking about in practice. This is what people have concerns about or complaints about, or want to do things different, where they might not have the, want to go directly to the coach. So it's a really fun timeline I'm at right now with the group at UFs, and then who we have on deck. I hope the incoming freshmen, sophomores, all the way up to the seniors, I hope that they just don't take for granted the group we have right now, because I'm walking on deck every day. Katie's usually there before me, but me and Katie are usually the first two there. Good morning, Katie. Me and Bobby stretch in the same spot by one of the flagpoles. And then I'm watching Kieran walk on deck. I'm watching Natalie walk on deck. I'm watching our coach Nesty walk on deck. It is one of the gnarliest, coolest experiences that I hope for the younger kids are not just brushing that off, because I am in awe every time I walk on deck.
I like that for you.
It is fantastic, dude. It is just I get to go to Disney World every time at 6 a.m. It is the best, most fun thing ever.
Well, there's a question I had that I wanted to ask before. It's just, because you've gone through this journey, and what do you feel like you have the tools to manage this through, next year and in the years afterwards? It's like, do you feel like you have more tools? Have you done the work in your time off to feel like you're ready to manage this going forward?
1,000%, 100, 1,000, 1,000,000%. And I already made a deal with Nesty. I already made a deal with my counselor. If this happens again, then I'm done swimming. It's as simple as that. And I'd be probably not more than happy to walk away, but it means that this is not meant for me. But I have full confidence moving forward with the work I put in, with Nicole. It was tough. It was tough. And it was really special getting I'm really proud of you from something other than swimming. And I never thought I needed that in my life, because I'm not big on compliments. I'm not big on gifts. I'm not a very sentimental person. I didn't realize, hearing that first, I'm really proud of you, from my counselor, how much that would mean, because it's always been about swimming. And you brush it off. You get immune to it. But hearing that, it was tough work, man. It was really tough work. And, she's like, I can see why you're good at swimming, because you're coming into counseling with the same approach that I would bring with training. That was my training at that time. Didn't miss a session. If I didn't want to go in, didn't matter. But yeah, it's not going to happen again. I know I have the tools moving forward, and if it does, then I'm done here. And then I'll go apply for a coaching position at UF, and then that's it.
And I'll share this. A lot of people don't know this. My wife's a counselor with a full practice. And
really?
I've been in counseling for 30 years. So I go to a counselor, and we have a marriage counselor, and we've been married 25 years. I love my wife. And it's like, so, but at a certain point into my early 30s, I'd been doing it for years, and I went, God, we go to the gym and we train, and I train like an athlete for so long. Why wouldn't I do this? Yes. Why didn't I start doing this long ago?
Yep. And I'm like, it works. It really does. And not every person's going to work for everybody, but we're the most complex, emotionally charged beings on this earth. We got to be doing something for that. And everyone's different. Not every counselor is going to work for everybody. But if there's one thing I can recommend, even if you feel like you don't need it, once a month, once a week, that's what I'm doing right now. Once a month, once every 2 months, I don't know. All I know is it worked for me. And I hope someone can find at least a 1% of what I got out of my counseling, and it'll help. And I'll be in counseling forever. I already told that to my counselor. This is not just I'm feeling good, now let's go back to swimming and just restart this whole process. That's why I'm confident with the group I have, and putting everything out there with my inner circle of here's what went wrong. Here's what we need to do different. And here's what the red flags that I need y'all to keep an eye on. So I'm a little bit under a microscope right now. But I'm not good at looking after myself. And I think that's the first thing realizing, is because swimming would take priority over everything. And it worked. it got gold medals, but I don't really consider that working because it, body kept the score and everything came crashing down. And that's not going to happen again. So yeah, to answer your question, it's not going to happen again.
Did you read that book? The Body Keeps the Score?
Yeah, I did. I thought I'd slip in a little shout out there. Yeah, I read that one.
Yeah, no, me too. It's a great book. If you're out there and you need to read you should. I'll put it in the show notes.
Put Untethered Soul in there too. I think Body Keeps the Score and Untethered Soul. Those are two very good. They're heavy. You might have to read a chapter, set it down, and go just sit on your porch like this. But they're great reads.
Wow, this is unexpected. I didn't. You've really come a long way.
Well, with reading, knowing that I read.
It's like Moses who went to the backside of the desert and came back. It is very dramatic, but it's real. I'm glad that you're back. Did you watch World Championships?
No. I looked at results, but no. And honestly, I was never one of those guys to begin with of like, checking the scores and watching every video. But I was checking results. Yeah. But I don't think I watched some of the race replays. I watched Kyle's 100 free. I watched the 200 free. I think that's all I watched. Oh no, I think that's all I watched, dude. The 2 free and 100 free. I think so.
You watched the 200 fly?
I didn't watch the 200 fly.
Dude,
I did watch Marchand's 4 AM. I mean, I had to watch that, dude. You watch someone go the fastest time ever. Like, come on.
I did. I'm bringing it up just because Team USA's relays. It's core. It's a men's 4x1 free. It was great to see Jack go from 8th to 2nd, and winning medals matters, and performance matters on a relay, and you need to have talent that comes together, and it looks like Team USA has talent that is rising, and that bodes well for relays. But that's my opinion looking from the outside in. How do you feel about it?
I mean, that's why the trials are so cutthroat. That's the point of it. You pick who's going to be the best, who is the fastest members and best swimmers we have in this country. That is who deserves to be on these relays. That's why I was okay. I didn't make the team. Why would I even want to go for a relay? I wasn't the fastest. I don't want my name to carry me through this sport. Forget that. That's why we had a bunch of new guys coming up. And I thought USA did pretty good. I didn't think they deserved as much of the criticism as they got. Like, if you look on paper, like, okay, maybe a couple races could have swum here or there. If, Kieran could have maybe made the A final for 4 free. Chase could have got maybe swum in for a bronze for the 4 AM. But if you really look at how that meet went, Australia just swam lights out. China had a really good swim meet. It's not that we did that bad. We really did it. Like, I don't know what race it. Like, you had Jack Alexi go from. He got a silk. Like, he could have won the 100. He could have been world champ. What are we talking about here, folks? Like, we had so many people step up that got dismissed because Team USA didn't get a gold medal on night one. I think that actually was one of the statistics, but. And going to that, like, we have the biggest target on our back every time, and we're aware of that. But I don't really think anyone underperformed. Murph got I think that was his first individual world. Yeah, like, come on, folks. What are we doing here, folks? Like, we had people really, really step up. And then that 400 medley, like, to be honest, I was a little nervous for that one. But as the meet went on, everyone got better and better. So I don't really know what more people expected from us. Maybe if we win every single event, maybe that'll do. But I think from what I figured from this meet, is it's never going to be good enough. But I thought Team USA did very well. I thought the relays did fantastic, especially for some of the young guys being on there. So, yeah, I thought we did great.
20 silver medals.
How many?
20.
20?
With 20 silver medals. So if you think about it, I'm like 20 silver medals, the world champs the year before the Olympics. That's not a bad place to be.
I think that's a great place to be. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, Australia just did fantastic. They did so. I mean, I have a lot of Australian friends. Even seeing most of them at the Speedo photo shoot. So I was actually in Japan at the end of the meet because I was up there for the Speedo photo shoot. Yeah, it's a rivalry, but like it's kind of like Georgia. I mean, I'm supposed to hate University of Georgia because the Florida Georgia rivalry. I have so many friends on Georgia that it's so tough to like not like the program, and that's how it is for the Aussies. Like they're just such good people. And yeah, I would definitely give them the nod that they won that meet. 20 silver medals. Yeah, going back, I can't shake that. I didn't know it was that many, dude. But yeah, year before the Olympics, I'm fine with that.
That's yeah, totally fine with that. It's a big squad. So that my word salad from World Championships was three things. It was the 20 silver medals. Thomas Heilman, we talked to Thomas, and he's only 16. He really was excited to see you. You've inspired his career. He's watched you closely. And the other thing was Cam McAvoy's 50 free, and he's 29, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm doing the math. Would Dressel do the 50 free in 2028? I hope so. What are you going to be?
Oh yeah, dude.
31?
So I just turned 27, 28, so 5 years. Yeah, 31. No, I'll still be 30. I'll still be 30 because Olympics like July.
That's right. And it's but no, it's a funny question because it's like, you're already an Olympic superstar. And I had this conversation with Ryan Murphy. I'm like, do you go to LA 2028 and go to the event in a limousine every day? Because that's what you do after or do you go and suffer the pain? Because you could go to the Olympics and you could just do 4 or 5 appearances a day, tool around in a limousine, hang with your friends, make a boatload of money, because you do. And then it's 2 different experiences. And Ryan's like, I don't know. I think I might want to compete.
Dude, swimming in front of a home crowd. That was, and we talked about this for trials for the 100 fly. I had a super easy morning swim. I think it was 49.9. I don't know, but rarely I mention these things like with Troy or even Nesty of like, I want to go world record tonight on American soil. I think having an Olympics on U.S. dude, because we never have swim meets here. Like they're either in Europe or Asia. Having that, of course, like, yeah, I want to swim in 2028. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Yeah, dude, whether it's just a 50 free, it's going to be hard for me to drop events. Like I would feel like such a wimp. Like I don't want to get to a point in my career where I'm like, nah, let's drop 100 free, just do the 50. Like if I'm capable of doing it, I want to do as many as I can. Especially if it's on American soil. I can't imagine, because trials, if that's just a little taste of it, like you get jealous in Rio hearing the Brazilians walk out for their relay. In Tokyo, well, there's no one in the crowd for Tokyo. But like all the other world championships, like just hearing the home crowd, that I crave that. That sounds so amazing. So yeah, I mean, I already planned on going until 28 anyways. But yeah, man, yeah, Murph's he'll end up swimming 28 for sure. I'll make him. I need him on my relays.
I'm gonna make Murph swim.
Yeah, dude. Oh,
no, that's awesome. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
You don't have to work that hard. You're swimming backstroke. It's all you just getting sun on your face.
Yeah, you get to breathe the whole time. Yeah, I can't say that. I don't really understand backstroke. I just don't float that well, dude, and it hurts, to be honest. It hurts my shoulders. So yeah, I'll leave it to Murph.
You mentioned the Speedo shoot, Speedo athlete, and you did Speedo shoot, and it's we can't talk about what happened there, but it's kind of cool. It's big. This shoot is for the Olympic year, and with the Speedo suits, and so there's Speedo is in development on some cool stuff, and you did the photo shoot, and they're going to have some interesting suits coming out.
Yes, besides getting to see all my Australians and my Brits and all my lovely Team Speedo teammates, yes, there was very excited. There was more than just that reason to be excited about the photo shoot. But Speedo shoots are always so much fun anyways.
So people that are listening, just so you know, they we interface with them, and they're partnered with SwimSwam, but it's a in bold font, big font, do not discuss what it is. I was like, okay, we're not going to do that. That's fair. It's fair. It's what, I understand. But that's a teaser to let you know it's coming.
Yeah. And then before I get myself in trouble, I'll just say, yeah, again, because I don't want to keep talking and get fired. Yeah.
You're going to be fine. We're not going to let that happen. I don't know what else there is to talk about. It's, I think you covered it all. It's, I feel bad now because I don't think you should do Dressel dissects anymore, because I think that if you're not in the pool, you need to act like a 12-year-old and have fun with it. You're gonna wait a second. Here's the thing. You're gonna have a baby in February.
Yeah. So we went in yesterday for the ultrasound. Crazy stuff, dude. I don't know if anyone else is just like, whoa, Caeleb's having a baby, because I also feel that way. So if everyone else feels that way, it's totally fine. Yeah, I'm going in for an ultrasound. And this thing, because we find out tomorrow if it's a boy or a girl. It's like a week ahead. This thing's massive. It's the size of like a cupcake right now, and it should be not the size of a cupcake. But yeah, so the due date, it went back. It's a week earlier now. So it was February 19th, and then now it's the 12th or whatever. Honestly, my math's pretty spot on, because that's February 12th now.
Okay, so by the time this media comes out, you will have done the gender reveal. Are you going to post that to Instagram?
Yeah. We'll post that.
Drop yours. It's at Caeleb Dressel. Is that correct? That's your account.
Yeah.
At Caeleb Dressel.
Yeah.
So if you want to know the gender of Caeleb and Megan's child.
Oh, was there that son? Was your son?
I misspoke. I mean, I have a daughter. Maybe I want a son subconsciously, but I have a child. I have a daughter.
I think it's a girl. I don't know why. Okay. I just have a feeling that it's a girl. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. You know what? There's very few occasions in your life where you get everyone in the same room that you love. Wedding is one. I'm kind of figuring out, people will drive a distance for anything to do with you having a baby. So, baby stuff, gender reveals, apparently, like, I guess guys coming to baby showers are a thing now. So I'll make my best friends drive up for that. That's just a good excuse. And then, yeah, at your funeral, but you won't remember that. So I think we're trying to milk this baby stuff. But yeah, tomorrow, everyone I love is going to be under our roof. So I'm very much looking forward to that.
Well, I appreciate your sharing everything you did. I think that it's it just is what it is. It's plain, and it's everybody understands that. And I think the broader media too it makes sense. It all makes sense. It's all positive.
Yeah. And it's, you know what? It's no one's fault. It is no one's fault but mine. And I was, again, that, like, I will stand by that. But coming out of that, I knew I needed help. And I know people would have liked me to have done things different or to do things their way, but, and that's totally fine. That is totally cool, dude. Free country. I'll stand by that. You say what you can say whatever you want about me. You can say whatever you want about me. I mean, I might not like you afterwards, but that's totally fine. But yeah, I'm happy where I'm at right now, but it had to be done the way that I did it. Had to be done with just disappearing.
Everyone in their life, most people have a moment where they're like, they go too far with something or it gets out of balance and they don't know what's going on. They don't know what's going on. So this experience is pervasive. Everyone has this moment. So I hope, it's maybe someone's not old enough to have had it, but it makes sense. So yeah, you're a sweetheart. I love you, buddy. It's thank you so much. If there's anything you need, let me know. You go have a good day, and I'm gonna try and do the same thing.
All right, see you, dude. Thank you. Yes, sir.